It's a bit. Do you guys like my new glasses?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember
glasses.
if you wore glasses or not. I was pretty sure you did, because I was thinking about whether me and Justin are the only ones who don't. And yeah, it was you and Zach. I wasn't 100% sure. I was thinking you both did, but then I was like,
This is the biggest glasses in the world, and these are a bit more like hip, I guess.
Yeah, I like the new ones.
yeah,
Good.
they're nice.
So
Perfect
what's up with
podcast
them?
glasses.
Is he like refusing to sleep?
He's just not sleeping.
The podcast is on, so careful what you say.
Okay, I apologize.
Careful. All right. Everyone ready?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay. We'll deal with it. Hello there, everyone. Welcome to another edition of TapCaf Transmissions. I am one of your hosts, Corey, joined as always by the other host, Mr. Justin Eckhartsladder. How are you doing tonight, Justin?
I'm well. How are you, Mr. Corey?
I'm great. I couldn't be better. I'm fantastic. I'm reading. I thought you were trying to show us the reflection in that, Ilkin, but we do have a third member of our group for tonight. Our guest for all of the Legacy of the Force adventures. We do have Mr. Ilkin from Kings and Generals. How are you doing? And Wizards and Warriors. How are you doing tonight, Ilkin?
I have never met Jude Law in my life, so my life is good.
See, the reason that's a funny joke for him to make is because we were talking about how he is watching Skeleton Crew before we started recording, and now everyone can be in on the joke.
Oh, that's where it came from.
That's the end of the joke, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like it so far, Ilkin?
I feel like the premise is great. Like there are like 50 different lore things that I expect to be resolved better than Acolyte, hopefully. I feel like it's good for the kids, but like it's not interesting to me that much. Like dialogue is flat, etc., etc. But overall, I feel like I can watch that with my kid when he's like 7, 8, 9.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Well, speaking
You
of
sound like a
Skeleton
bottle
Crew,
being uncorked there, Corey. That sound you just made, you sound like it was like, yeah.
well, before we get into the topic of the night, which is going to be Tempest by William Shakespeare, any Star Wars news that we're going to be going over? Anything exciting happen?
It's so few news.
So slow.
It feels like it's 1995. Like
Yeah.
news whatsoever.
We're deep in the weeds with the Corellian trilogy and Black Fleet Crisis or something.
Yeah, like nothing is happening. It's so bad. Like there's just one book released in the last 5 to 6 months. Like nothing is happening.
That's not true. We had the finale of the High Republic. We have the
that's it. That's
Mask of Fear. Was very good.
Okay, 2 books.
Yeah, it was good.
There was just the galaxy map was put up on the Star Wars website, which is actually pretty exciting as well.
Did they buy out the guy who had this huge map?
Well, Modi was always the one that did like the fan works before, like ages ago, and he's worked on them since like Essential Atlas. So a lot of it is still based on that. And then Jason Fry was told to base the new canon maps when he started making them for other stuff on the old Legends maps. So a lot of that carried over rather than restarting, which is why there are so many Legends planets on those maps. Even though there are a bunch of planets that get mentioned in, like pretty heavily in new canon stuff that aren't on the map yet.
There's even more if you... did you see the compendium, though?
Yeah, there's
included?
like thousands of extra planets that just aren't on the map as well.
For the question, is Bothan on the map?
Bothan, yeah. Because
like it's a very difficult, weird situation where it was mentioned, like Bothans were mentioned in the movie, but they have not been mentioned in anywhere else.
Yeah, it has been weird. But yeah, Bothan is on the map. They even have a Bothan sector, actually.
Yep.
I actually expected Andor to mention them somehow, like some idea how they became part of the rebellion, I guess.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Maybe for Andor season 3.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah, but I thought the Star Wars Galaxy Map, like swgalaxymap.com site was down. It's been it's like a domain parking page for me for a while, but it's back up now. So I was wrong.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
know
like
with
maybe they'd
that
cleaned it.
guy, he like I know he often is like it's expensive to
Yeah.
host. So I know like that's been an issue with him before.
Is it because the map is huge or because people visit only that site, basically?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's both. But I really like the new one. They need to make they need to make it searchable. That would be my one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's got that. The old map has that on it, but the compendium is nice because it's probably the biggest collection of planets we have in one place. Like we've got this. I counted. There's like about. I think it was. I can't remember if it was 100 or 200 planets a page. Anyway, there are like 6,000 planets in that document. So I was like, okay, there's 22 Uween planets. I've always been wondering how many there are.
What plans? Sorry.
With
Uween.
the like Uween suffix, like Dantooine, Tatooine, Deltooine.
Okay. Is there like common linguistic things that's happening there, or is it just?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I
Just-
forgot. I don't know if they ever. I did a video on it a while ago. I don't remember what I
Yeah.
found, but
Like the Ords, there's a reason for it. The
Yeah.
Ords is racism, but
isn't it?
Is
Isn't
it
it
Mandalorian thing?
Old Republic? Isn't it a depot or something?
it's
Isn't that what Ord is
ordnance,
from?
like ordnance,
Ordnance
depot.
Depot. Yeah.
And it was where all the Pious Day military bases were for the Crusades against non-humans. So
Racism Planet X.
yes,
Diversity what? Diversity Alliance.
Yeah.
My favorite Star Wars organization.
yeah, that was a fun live stream chat to have on X channel. But so we are talking about Tempest tonight, the third book in Legacy of the Force. And any overall thoughts on that one, Ilkin? If you remember what it was.
This series is incredibly easy to read.
Yeah.
Especially in comparison with the next one, whatever it's called.
Fate of the Jedi.
Fate of the Jedi?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one is like super easy to read. You don't have, I don't know, any boring portions. Like, I don't like Boba Fett portions in the second and fifth book.
Well, spoiler
like,
alert.
Yeah. Every time, whatever her name is, Karen
Travis.
That's her travesty writing about Mandalorians.
Mando posting is what we call it.
Mando posting.
Oh, she's Mando posting again.
And she does this weird thing where she mentions. Anyways, previous book. Point is very good. I feel like most people start either with Tron Trilogy or with New Jedi Order. But this might be a good place to start reading Star Wars, especially if you like the prequels. It might be a good, I guess, companion books to the prequel.
Interesting.
Yeah, if you really like the plot of the prequels and want to see it beat by beat again.
Well, it's not bit by bit, but like close enough, I guess.
Yeah, I'll. This was, I think, maybe my least favorite one. We got denninged pretty hard in this one, like especially with the Lumiya coming back. I really didn't enjoy the Hapan stuff very much. Like, I mean, I enjoyed being at Hapes, but like all the usurper fleets and like the double crossing kind of started to blend together a bit. So that. This to me felt a lot like a side track of the week New Jedi Order book, where like, oh, this is the Corellian book where we're gonna relive the Corellian trilogy, or this is the the Hapan book, or the Courtship of Princess Leia book. I guess there's not a Courtship of Princess Leia book in the New Jedi Order. I think I meant a Truce of Akura book.
Do they go to Dathomir at some point again?
I don't think so. I don't think they do. No. So yeah, it was a bit too like to me. Denning has a bit of a notable style as well, where a lot of the book is the characters going back and forth between different places, and I think really a lot of the a lot of the Star Wars EU books do that, where like if you compare it to another, even another science fiction novel, I feel like a lot of the book is characters traveling to a place, doing something, and going somewhere else. Sometimes I just want them to slow down and think a bit more or talk rather than, have the action happen kind of instantly. Oh, we jump into hyperspace, there's another battle. This was a lot of that for me.
There is definitely a feeling of like the greatest hits that you kind of get with NJO and Legacy of the Force and Fate of the Jedi, where you do have like, oh, we are doing the Corellian book now, we're doing the Hapan book now. And like with each author, you're kind of bringing in whoever their characters are. And I think you do kind of get away from that with Christy Golden in Fate of the Jedi, because she just didn't really have those established characters. But like the biggest random pull in this one is like Aurra Sing is now a Troy Denning character for the purposes of that.
Yeah.
But we do have to set the stage for those of you who are not directly reading along with us.
Boo.
Well, maybe they read it a while ago and they don't remember exactly what happened, Ilkin. Don't boo people. That's privileged. Check your privilege. But
check your reading privilege.
Yeah, so the Corellians are trying to get more people on their side, and part of this turns into a bit of a little oopsie of a civil war for the Hapans, where there's the Heritage Council that are trying to unseat Tenel Ka. They're trying to assassinate her. Han and Leia get kind of sent as these decoys, thinking that they're going to negotiate with Tenel Ka to just at least stop supporting the Galactic Alliance, but that's really just used as cover for an assassin who turns out to be Aurra Sing, trying to kill Tenel Ka and Alana, who Han and Leia don't know is their granddaughter yet. So Jason thinks that Han and Leia were involved. No, because everyone thinks that she might be a little deformed or something.
Yeah. At this point, I don't believe that Jason is thinking anything. Like,
he's tough.
He's saying things like he says, "Yeah, Han and Leia are probably trying to kill my wife and child, whatever." And like, no one but you believes in that, basically.
Tenel Ka kind of believed it for a while, and like there were questions around it. But I do want to stick on Aurra Sing for a minute here, because she escaped with Han and Leia. She basically tells them that someday she'd like to go and kill Jason, and as soon as they're ready for that, she's on board. And we find out that she had been stuck in a prison that got raided when the Yuzon Vong War happened, so that's how she escaped. So she was in prison for 30 years, got out.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Like, she really didn't get out before that? I thought she was active during the original trilogy.
She should have been, but apparently not. Yeah. Well, she might have just been put back into prison later, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
skill issue.
She is then told by the Hapans, go for Alana first. So she goes after Alana, who is on the Anakin Solo, the new Galactic Alliance Guard Star Destroyer that Jason very rudely named after his brother. And we'll talk more about Jason and his naming conventions in a bit. But Jason just kind of beats her ass and then throws her in jail, and she never comes up again. This is Aurra Sing's first and last appearance.
Yeah, she gets knocked out by basically an EpiPen, and then, it's like the stun stick, I think they call it.
Yeah.
And then we don't see her anymore.
Basically, everyone who sees Han and Leia is like, hey, do you want me to kill your child? And they're like, okay, we'll think about it.
Which is, and then Leia's like, no, I should probably do it myself. I will say the book opens up with the reveal of a massive Corellian battle fleet they've been building.
No. The book starts with a world brain thing.
Well, I don't mean directly.
Okay, sorry.
But we do visit the world brain and it gets killed. But at some point early on in the book, we learn that Corellia is building a massive battle fleet, and I do wish Han had maybe reflected on that a bit more. They've built what they call 3 dreadnoughts, at least, hidden in the asteroids, And like Han's sort of like Han is basically done with Corellia at this point, but so I guess they didn't need to go down that route. But what they were doing was maybe a bit more unreasonable than we were led to believe, and it seems like the GA kind of knew that
So
they were building.
just to confirm, like GA was saying that they were building it, right? But at the same time, it seems that it's Traken's idea to build it. Like,
Well, I
it's
think
his
they knew they
project.
were building a fleet, but I think this was like a second. Like I think the dreadnoughts were like a special project.
Yeah.
Okay.
They talk about how this has been underway for like 10 years, like basically started right after the Yuzon Vong War. So it's been a thing for a while. But like then Thraken kind of
Does anything happen to Karelia during the Yuzhan Vong War beyond Center Point?
No,
Like, is
because
Karelia even attacked? No.
there might be a battle there when they're like going through from Mon Cal to the core, but I don't think Corellia falls.
No, I think Corellia holds out fine.
My point is that maybe they're jumpy for no big reason. And what do I know?
I guess there's because even at Center Point they don't even really have a battle there. They're just they're in it, but like the Vong are at Fondor, like when Center Point's fired. So yeah, I don't think anything happens.
And the Vong were terrified of Corellia because they didn't know that Center Point wasn't operational until after Duro.
Yeah.
So they already had access to the core. And then I think one of the Viscounts was around there. One got moved to Kuat, but yeah, they weren't really directly impacted. But you can understand why they would want a defense fleet at that point. But they were clearly making it to attack someone.
Yeah.
In terms of shipbuilding, is Karelia like top 5?
Probably not top 5, but it's not low on the totem pole.
Okay.
It seems like they make really good ships. That's like what.
Yeah. They're like one of the
even the Corellian Star Destroyers are supposed to be a little bit better than the ordinary ones.
They aren't like the biggest ship producers in that they don't produce the biggest ships, but they probably produce the most like bulk of ships because they have like all the little freighters and stuff compared to Kuat that is pumping out bigger warships. That's a bit more rare for Corellia, but smaller stuff they're more commonly putting out.
Everything is smaller in Corellia.
That's what they say.
I think they finished one of the Viscounts at Corellia, if I remember. But yeah.
What's the name of that Jakku ship?
The what?
The New Republic ships that they
built. Oh, the Starhawk?
Yeah, Starhawk, yeah.
No, they don't build those. Yeah. I don't know if I know where they built the other ones, but we don't even know how many Starhawks they had. At least 4, but
like we see them ripping up ships at Corellia, but
yeah, that's
maybe.
True.
But
because they're ripping up in Ahsoka. They're taking apart the Super Star Destroyer there. So who knows?
People are very mad about.
Corellia is building the fleet. Han doesn't really think too much about their goals, but he was done with whatever Thraken was doing, and now he's realized that the guy who replaced Thraken as Prime Minister and President of President of Corellia and Prime Minister of the Five Worlds, Durgedjin, is like kind of a shithead too. So Han, I think what this book does, even if it is more of a side adventure to Hapes, is it kind of solidifies what every character's motivation is going to be, where Han and Leia kind of figure out the core of what's going to become the Jedi Coalition of like Corellia sucks, but also Calo Mass was overreaching, Chun Nialthal really sucks, and Jason is now just Darth Vader. So the Galactic Alliance is a problem as well. And like we get a bit more on Jason figuring out his motivations, or the authors figuring out how to justify his motivations. We see like Tenel Ka really siding with Jason, and we see like the fractures and the Hapens that are going to continue to play a role. Jaina is very much upset that she's not in the military anymore. But the Jedi as a whole are the ones who get sidelined right now, where none of them have done anything.
They don't know what to do with Jaina. Like, it's completely incredible. Like they try to give her little missions, etc., but like nothing is happening, and she's like doing her own thing. It's not good.
It's
She's
the same
hanging
with
out
Luke,
Zekk.
really.
Zek's
Other
just
than
picturing her in the
Leia.
shower all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, we see that she's been dreaming about her dawn rumbles with Jag for 5 years nonstop, basically. We see that she now respects Zekk, who gets over her.
Yeah.
And
Can I
everything
say
to do with
something
Jaina.
about? Can I say something about Zekk?
Go for it.
Am I allowed? Dude,
Yeah.
you are 2 meters long Jedi with a
Excuse me?
with a jawline that probably can replace a lightsaber. Just fuck off and do your thing. What's this simping for 20 years now?
Yeah, spend
Oh my
another day in the Corellian underworld or in the Coruscanti underworld, maybe.
And then you're replaced by that short cheese king 5 seconds after he returns. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, we do also learn about that Chiss King. Jag has was apparently marooned for 5 years.
Yeah, that's why it's called Maroon 5.
So that sucks for him, I guess.
Yeah, so like he gets to that bar on what is it, Telkur 5 or whatever, the station of scum and villainy that he tracks them to.
The planet we'll never hear about again.
Yeah, like he sits Han and Leia down and he's like, "This exile has taken a toll on me. We said goodbye too many times before."
Sure, I'm never going to see you again. He is.
Now I'm at the payphone waiting to call home, but the Chiss aren't taking my call.
Okay, you get one, Corey. Okay, enough.
Okay, what's the difference between Zekk and Kip?
Between Zekk and Kip,
Kip is older in a creepy way. Zekk is just a little older.
No, Zekk is same age as Jaina. No, Jaina. No,
I think he's a bit older.
He's like a year or two older, but
yeah, that's not like a huge thing. What's the name? Romeo and Juliet laws, right?
Romeo and Juliet laws, you said?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're 30 now, so I think they're good either way.
I'm joking. I just remember that Transformers
I don't know what
thing.
Luke's approach to that was on Yavin 4.
So Kip was born in 7 BBY. Zekk was born in 7 ABY. So there's a 14-year difference there. Jaina was born in 9 ABY. So Kip is like 16 years older and was hitting on her at the start of the Yuzan Vong War.
Listen, in his
when
defense,
she's 16.
He doesn't do math. In his defense, okay?
Yeah, the
Jedi
Jedi
learned that on. He didn't learn that in the mines.
The Jedi Academy doesn't have the strongest math curriculum.
No.
Kip, why do you know the age of consent laws on Yavin?
Every planet nearby as well. Shadow Academy? Yeah.
But like, I don't remember if it's in this book or in the next one. I think it's the next one. There's like a few very good Kip scenes in the next book.
That's the next one.
Yeah, Kip was in this one.
Yeah, it's a really good Kip scenes, and like for the first time since like I don't know book 5 of the Yuzhan Vong War, he actually does something. So it's very cool. But back to the topic. I guess Traken is the one who is trying to build the fleet, but no, actually we're on the.
We're on the Jedi being kind of directionless in this. We do get more of them in Exile, but like the Council hasn't really played a role yet. We get the start of that where Luke and Mara are going to have a showdown with Lumiya right now, or in this book. We also have Trisina Lobi, one of the Council members, gets killed by Alema.
I would call her red shirt of the Council because like she's the Council member with the least lore.
I feel like that's probably Octoramus.
Okay, that's true.
Well, they're kind of in the same boat there. Because Trisina's been around since Destiny's Way, I think. But
yeah, we always mention her like mostly in reference to this. Like every time she's come up.
Thing is, like she has a duel with Alema and with Lumiya, and
she does good.
It feels like she can defeat one of them easily.
Yeah, she's doing pretty well.
Like maybe she can't defeat Jason, but like otherwise she should be able to take on any dark side user.
Trisina Lobi gets really close to figuring everything out.
Yeah.
She had only been like, if she had started her conversation with Jason's bad, then
Yeah.
Well, it's the same issue with every sci-fi or fantasy thing, right? To go the story, to get the story going, they have to not share the information that they have.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do want to go marginally earlier to the prologue, where we have Alema tracking Jason, then trying to kill him at the World Brain. There's all the Bothan, like Jason is using the World Brain from the Yuzon Vong War, which is the thing that the Yuzon Vong set up to terraform Coruscant, and he befriended and kind of sabotaged everything with. But now he's using it to gather intel, and as he's going down there to consult this source, Alema tracks him, tries to kill him because she thinks that's how you serve the balance. She's got this very twisted view of what balance is and what her role as a Jedi is, but it's mostly like pure revenge that she thinks like getting even is balance. But she is able to read it. Partially is projection, but she's able to read what Lumiya is doing way better than Jason. Like she talks about sensing Lumiya as this like pit of bitterness, and it's all directed at Luke, and like she weasels her way into helping Lumiya by basically telling her like, I want to hurt the Skywalkers too. I see what you're doing. This is going to be very epic. Let's make Jason a Sith Lord.
Mm-hmm. She completely sees. And I did a video talking about the Darth Vectivus stuff and how like she's probably lying about that. And I think like a lot of their interactions in this book kind of pull the curtain back a bit.
It's the same way Palpatine is using what's his face?
Plagueis?
Plagueis, yes. Like this great dark side user who knew so many things, etc.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's pretty clear because we see how she talks about Jason and like preparing him to do like, you know, when she was talking to Jason about Darth Vectivus and you know making the initial sale to him, she didn't say, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're going to need to be willing to throw away your family and do all these type of things."
Yeah.
You know, she trickle truthed him a little, and you see that kind of laid bare when she's talking to Alema.
Yeah.
Who still has a she's one of several women who have dancer-like figures, although hers is a little malformed now.
That's why she's about balance, right? She wants that balance back.
Yeah, missing
Her
those
toes
toes
are gone.
Yeah.
So on one hand, Jason is all about peace, and he wants peace, and he talks about peace. He wants justice and peace, and no war, and justice and no war, because his daughter might die. Justice and peace, peace and justice.
Mm-hmm.
And then he starts assassinating diplomats from Bothan diplomats, which obviously pushes them into the Corellian camp and makes the war even worse. Like, I don't know what type of delusion that is. Like, is Jason even understanding what he's doing? Like, is there any like point to what he's trying to do?
So there's one thing that this book I think sets up well with Jason, where like people talk about him as being like so selfless and everything, and there's an extent to which he thinks like his selflessness is what makes him able to do all this Sithy stuff without really going to the dark side. And I think there's an extent to which, if we're going to just take that at face value, he ends up doing what Anakin does. Like, ultimately, he is doing these things. Like, a lot of his mistakes, a lot of his real slide comes from him ultimately doing these things to protect Alana and Tenel Ka, because he's not really willing to make that sacrifice. But he goes so far against like his parents and his sister and his aunt and uncle because he thinks that proves that he is not acting selfishly. Like he's kind of overcorrecting in it and is willing to kill Han and Leia because like he needs to be, He needs to be able to do that if he's really selflessly, like, the rules have to apply to everyone. But there's this thing that Star Wars doesn't seem to, like, no one in Star Wars seems to have heard of, called recusal, where if you think you have a bias in a situation, you just recuse yourself and let someone else handle that. But because only 6 people are allowed to make any decisions in Star Wars, and it's always related to the other same 6 people, no one seems willing or able to do that.
Well, Elon
Yeah,
Musk surely
maybe you
doesn't make
don't
any
need to be
decisions.
commanding the Star Destroyer right now. Like, if you're worried about Alana and you're trying to hide that, you know, like aren't you the like secret police? Like, why are you leading the space battle right now?
Because he's a colonel, which, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, colonials always have huge spaceships to command. That's how it
Yeah.
works.
Did we mention that the world brain does also die? By the way, so
And no one cares. It's a Yuuzhan Vong thing. It's over.
I mean, the world brain, you know, it's played a big role. It fucked up their terraforming of the planet, but more importantly, we have the death. I was actually sad to read this of Kakmain and Meewall dying basically off screen by Jason. Jason kills them. Which, like, for me, that's like, yeah, you can't redeem Jason after he kills Kakmain and Meewall. Like, they're such bros. So,
Right.
I think one of them is a woman, but or not a human
He's
woman.
still a bro.
So yeah, I was happy.
I think Leia and Han do not get new Nogue bodyguards in this series. Am I wrong?
I know they do later, but I can't remember. Yeah,
I think Kakmain and Meewall are the longest serving.
Yeah,
because it used to be Kabarak and Kakmain or Kabarak and Meewall, and then that one died. But like they used to go through them pretty often.
Yeah, like it was often that they'd be like assassinated or whatever.
Yeah. Because if you needed to kill someone to make a scene feel tense, it was a Nogri bodyguard.
Yeah.
But so as far as the Bothans go,
I don't get that.
I feel like
they just drop that on us and then.
So yeah, I think it's unclear how responsible Jason is for instigating that. Because I think the way that Lumiya talks to Luke and Mara, it sounds like Lumiya started assassinating the Bothans. So the Bothans started sending assassins after Jason and the World Brain. And then the World Brain wants to ban Bothans from the planet. Jason says no, that'd send the Bothans straight into Corellia's camp. So I think it's something that Lumiya is instigating that Jason doesn't know the extent of. And then he like elevates it against the True Victory Party. Because he thinks, like, he's not just going after the ambassadors, he's going after the True Victory Party, and then that kind of overlaps. But I think there's some shenanigans going on from Lumiya there. It wasn't super clear to me, though.
Yeah. I agree. I think we will learn more because Bothan becomes one of the Confederation factions. But yeah, it's there's like I actually don't mind that that's left a bit more opaque because we just see things spiraling. Really, I guess is the point where Jason's always got like every problem when you have a hammer. What's this saying? It's like when you have a hammer,
every problem is
yeah. That's kind of him right now. Like everything, Han and Leia are the best example of this. Where like. He just accepts right away. Well, he like moves back and forth, and like Corey said, part of it is he's trying to prove that he can be detached and he can be the moral and fair dictator. Yeah, he's like, look, let's just shoot them. And that's how the book ends. For those who haven't read, basically. Han and Leia get caught up in this convoluted plot, and to be fair, I don't think they handle things well at all. But they get sent to Hapes. They're trying to basically. They learn that there's going to be an assassination attempt against Tenel Ka. They break out of the room they're in, and like they low key kind of help with the assassination attempt.
Actually,
Like-
they make it more chaotic for everyone.
Yeah, and they shoot guards. Like the guards are firing at them, but I don't think they handle it very well. So I understand why there's some confusion there.
And then, like, we're gonna join the assassin because we want to see where the assassin is going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should be easier ways of doing that, I guess.
Yeah. And it leads to multiple deaths. So there's probably like a felony homicide thing they could get them on. And then like everyone's trying to figure out, okay, are Han and Leia bad? Like, have they fallen this deep? And like, I don't know, it's ridiculous. Like, Han and Leia have been with the GA and the New Republic and the Rebel Alliance for 40 years now, and like it took, like, look at how long it took them to assassinate Thraken, and like that, like he deserved it. Like that was a moral good for the galaxy to kill Thraken. So like the idea that they would kill Tanaka is wild.
Yeah, and the fact that Jason
somehow Jason thinks that if they kill Thraken, they can kill anyone. Like,
yeah,
okay.
Well, Jason is also not just willing to kill Han and Leia for him thinking that they went after Alana. He's also willing to kill Jaina, Zekk, and Ben to not even to stop them from going after Alana, just in like a little bitch fit of revenge or something.
Yeah, Jason crashes out a lot. Like he is starting to crash out. Like that's all I can describe it. Like he's wearing a cape now, a black cape, not a great sign. Yeah, like once the black cape comes out, and if it's a robe, okay, like it's a cape for him. And he's
to be fair, like everyone comments on, oh, he's wearing all black. Does that remind you of anyone? But like Luke is literally always wearing all black.
If it is like
that's why Jason made the point. Robe is okay, cape is not okay.
Yeah,
exactly.
Why are you making it difficult, Corey?
Exactly.
Apologize.
Yeah, it's like he is spiraling, and I think it's, although I do have some issues with like some of the details, and I wish they focused a bit more on his fear driving things. I think the way he's spiraling is realistic, and he's abandoned. Like his family has been very critical of him, and I think maybe that time that they saw each other on the Falcon when he was giving over the body of Boba Fett's granddaughter or daughter, that might be the last time they see each other. But like his family is critical of him. Luke and Mara are extremely critical of him finally. Because up until now, and really including this book, everyone's response to things Jason's doing are to cross their arms and like shake their head. Like, I don't approve of what he's doing. And he's got the GA and Ben who just fully support everything he does. So
until he starts choking people out on the bridge. And Ben realizes, oh, well, these people just kind of fear him. They don't respect him. But
do you think the writers go a bit far with Ben? Like at some point, like he should stop, and he tries to arrest Han. It's while the ship is under attack. Like
I think he'll stop. I don't know if he's got one or two books left, but
no, by the book 6. It stops, but like it stops not completely. It's still like somewhat in the orbit of Jason.
I think it makes sense. Jason's his hero, and like he thinks he's doing the right thing, and he's always kind of sheepish about it. Then everyone treats him like a bit of an annoyance for all this shit, which I think is fun. But
yeah,
basically, Dala did nothing wrong, right? That's our point.
The moment of him on the Falcon. So for those who haven't read it, basically. Again, a lot of this book is people jumping back and forth between places. They all end up in the same place, and Han goes to rescue Jaina, Jaina and Anakin Jaina and Ben, after Ben rescued Jaina. There's a lot of rescuing going on. This is stage 3 of the rescuing. And then once they're on the Falcon, which has been shot at by the Anakin Solo, he tries to arrest Han, and it's just like I think it's a perfect example of just like a completely like a teenager. He's barely a teenager. He's 13, just like impotent. Like no one takes like I'm gonna arrest him. Okay. And then he accidentally slices Zekk with his lightsaber, who like no one's even paying attention to his lightsaber really before that. And
well, the ship's
it's just like
completely falling apart.
It's just like completely embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna be having nightmares about that.
Yeah, like Jason does. He shows remorse about that, about ordering the Anakin Solo to fire on and kill his entire family, which, like, I guess he gets some points for that, maybe. And it does bother him for, like, the rest of this book and, like, the first 3 chapters of Exile before he decides, no, I was right. I was right with the information I had. And just, at least it's something. But him getting to that point, like the spiraling, I think is realistic. I think there's ways to like reconcile what he's doing in general with him as a character and what his goals are. But there's so many of his minute-to-minute decisions that are just like so dumb, just so incredibly stupid. Not that they're stupid because they're out of character, but they are like literally just, you have to be an absolute moron to make the decisions you're making. And he just comes across as like so hot-headed trying to ram his way through these plot points. But he does have the one maybe good plan where there is this major duel between Luke, Mara, Lumiya, and Alema on Roku Depot, I think it is, or Relifon, one of the two, where Luke and Mara say, we want Ben back. Stop doing whatever you're doing. And he's like, well, Ben's going to be here. Go pick him up. And since Luke and Mara are afraid that Lumiya is like trying to get at them through Ben, they've found that Jason bought Lumiya a nice little safe house with GAG funds, and he's trying to like put them off of his scent. He thinks that he can set Lumiya up where he can tell Luke and Mara where Ben is going to be. They'll go to get him, and then Lumiya will show up. And then either Lumiya kills Luke and Mara, which he doesn't think will happen, and that problem's solved, or Luke will just kill Lumiya, and then he can do what he needs to do and not have to worry about her anymore. For Lumiya, this plan is great.
How is he going to do it? Like Jason, like at this point, does he know how to do what he's doing? Like in book 4, Lumiya gives him a certain information that will make war easier for him. Without that information, he's probably defeated in the first battle he faces.
I feel like he's kind of giving himself a bit of an off ramp.
Yeah, he doesn't like. He's not necessarily thinking that his end goal here is to become like an open Sith Lord who takes down the Jedi Order or something. He thinks he's doing what he needs to do. Lumiya is becoming a liability that might get him in trouble, and he's not like fully sold on everything she's doing. So if he can get her, like Lumiya is the biggest way for Jason to get in trouble right now in his mind. Because like a lot of what he's doing may be questionable, but people are still like going back and forth on that, especially in his mind. Like he's getting so much positive reinforcement from that. But the one thing that is like inexcusably, unquestionably dark is Lumiya. So if he can make it look like, oh, Lumiya was after Ben, I wasn't involved in that, you've killed her now, no one is going to bother me about that anymore, then that's just an unquestioned, like that's just a win for him. Because she's not even teaching him anything, really. Like he doesn't think he has that much to learn from her anymore.
She just says the word sacrifice over and over again until everybody's annoyed.
Yeah.
Including Jason.
Yeah, and it was weird when she calls it she says he's going to have to make a legacy of the Force sacrifice. And
Corey's play of form today.
Yeah, this battle was crazy. It was a legacy of Force Tempest.
Of the battles.
Yeah. Kashyyyk has become a legacy of the Force Inferno.
We did get more details about the Anakin Solo than I remembered. Like it's got they say it has a what do they call it? Like a cloaking tower or something, or a cloaking something on the tower.
Ship fucker
Pylon?
comes again. Like
what?
I've never seen anyone who is into Star Wars ships as much as you are, basically.
Oh yeah, no. Like,
I'd
and
forgotten
Troy
that-
Denning is the worst one because he gives no details. He actually power scales the dreadnoughts a bit, although it's
Yeah.
just a rough estimate.
It is. I'd forgotten that they'd given the turbo laser technology, like this long range turbo laser tech, to the Hapens, and also that
Yeah,
like
so did I.
some electricians need to get in here and look at this because the lights turn off whenever they fire.
I kind of like that about the. I think that's like pretty evocative visually
Mhm.
of like the massive guns are firing so much that like the ship's shuddering. Like, hope you weren't taking a shit because you're doing so in the
Mhm.
dark now.
Well, I'd also thought that they replaced the octuples with it, but no, these are like prow mounted 4
Yeah.
extra ones.
Yeah. Is it
I
4 or
don't like
3?
it.
I thought it was 4, but I could be wrong and just made that up because I thought they were on the back. But either
Yeah,
way,
and then so like they're doing the chase. He's trying to save his baby mama, and he's like, "Yeah, put one of those guns at the Falcon. Why not?"
poor Tenelka. She survives this coup attempt, and all of her people love Jason. She's been worrying about Alana's parentage and revealing her identity for years now, and she's like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. And then Jason walks and is like,
Yeah.
I tried to kill everyone.
She's like, maybe all my problems can go away. Maybe I can be happy and I don't have to live in seclusion with my daughter and never a nanny ever. Nope. Nope.
He always cuts himself off when he's angry. Tenelka, leave his ass.
Yeah, he is like she's the ultimate. You're literally a princess. You're too good for him. Like never has there been a woman more too good for a man than Tenelka in this version of Jason.
He comes
Well,
back
it's like
from a multi-year sojourn in Bugland, smelling like ass. He's like, "Hey babe, let's conceive a child."
Yeah, he doesn't even tell his family about her, which like I don't know. I guess. But.
Oh, so you can put
I guess it's
Lumiya on the
Tempest
GAG payroll and get her a safe house, but you can't pay child
Yeah,
support?
you can't fucking fly. Yeah, you can't fly me over once to Coruscant. Okay, it's always my house. You never chip in for groceries. You never. You make me pay for your gas. You know how much the Anakin Solo takes to fill up?
Well,
Justin has been in some situations in his life.
he was willing to sacrifice 18 of her battle dragons to save the Queen Mother. Because like that's
He's
fine,
like
because like Alana was on the Anakin Solo, but you know what? You've got those turbo lasers, help him out a bit more.
If the battle dragon, come on, like. Also, it's like, yeah, like 18 is fine, 66%. I need those other 2 to fly next to me because I look cool. I look cool with ships and escort.
Han and Leia's part of the mission in the Battle of Hapes also doesn't make sense because like their whole thing was they need to get this message out to Tenelka to hold position because Leia feels like there's going to be a Galactic Alliance fleet coming out. For one thing, Tenelka, also a Jedi, she should be able to get these feelings. The second thing, Tenelka supposed to be allied with the Galactic Alliance. So if Neg Bwatu showed up in Hapan territory, hiding behind one of their moons with a giant armada of Galactic Alliance ships, would she not have heard about this before? Are Han and Leia really supposed to be the ones who tell them about this whole strategy?
I'm not sure if I'm reading the room right, but I felt like they're using the idea that its communications are difficult on Hapes really well in this one. And in Book 5 again.
Yeah.
No?
But the ships are already there. They're in the system.
Yes, but like there are a bunch of like interference in the Hapes, no? Am I misremembering?
In the transitory mess, yeah, it causes issues, and then they don't have the HoloNet. But like they're in the system. Tenelka can sense them.
Yeah.
The way she sensed Jason's smell after you returned after 5 years. on Sojourn.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I mean. Like the Hape stuff is just messy. Like in my mind, I was like, I don't care about the details. I know there's a battle. There's fleet's gonna show up or it's not. We'll see.
Well, at least Isolde did not try to buy Jaina again. So
That's true.
that's good.
He doesn't have his head cut off yet either.
I'd love for Jaina to have like one book that doesn't turn into just mostly being about her dating life.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because like Verger's whole thing about like, oh, you're letting the Jedi marry, you're going to cause all these dynasties. She was right. The Habens turn into one. The Jedi turn into one. The Empire comes back because of a Skywalker. Like they shouldn't be allowed to hold political power in any way.
Okay, so here's a question for you. Like, this is a point in one of my favorite series called Wheel of Time. I don't know if you guys have heard about it.
Not Star
But
Wars.
basically,
so
the idea. Sorry, what?
It's not Star Wars. So
You don't have time. So basically, at some point, the men go bad, and women start killing men who have magic. And because of that, basically the bloodlines are all messed up, and the magic is dying out in the world. So the Jedi not marrying, would that decrease the number of Force users, or would Force somehow balance itself?
Well, it kind of depends how it's all supposed to work. Because in Legends especially, it turns into this thing where like you could just become Force sensitive, but if you had a Force sensitive family, like if your parents were Jedi, you're almost certainly going to be a Jedi. And then there's like the more common and new canon setup of like, especially with Sabine,
If
you can.
If you have a broom, you can be a Jedi.
Yes, that's exactly what the point of Last Jedi was. Where like,
I know.
I do prefer it being like anyone can technically access the Force in some way, even if some people have like easier time doing it. But like in a lot of the Old Republic, it was that just they'd find out the new people were Force sensitive. It's kind of random, which is fine too.
I mean, part of it is probably simply not having Jedi around. Like, there's probably just lots of untapped talent.
Yeah. And then it's just whoever the Jedi thought were easiest to kidnap.
You know, I can't think of too many, or really any children of Jedi who don't get Force powers.
Ben Skywalker for a few years.
But it's only because he's so powerful.
Yeah, he's such a Chad.
So easy explanation is that too many people die in Yuuzhan Vong War, and he kind of feels it, and he decides to close off from the Force, right? Something like that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. As explanations go.
Yeah.
So really, it's just, everyone can be Force sensitive, and then it's just that the Jedi found the ones that are easiest to abduct, and they're basically Janissaries. It's like child-slave situation.
Even next series we'll get Corrin's kids.
Yeah.
I think it's Jystella and
Valen.
Valen, yeah.
Valen's been around a little bit already.
Yeah.
He was one of the ones that stayed back on Yavin with the whole Yuuzhan Vong situation.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I've kind of been thinking throughout this and seeing how Jason's acting, like a lot of what Jason is doing is more how you'd expect Anakin to behave if he went to the dark side, like Anakin Solo.
Mm-hmm.
But oh well,
that would have been a bit much. Anakin version, dark side Anakin V2.
As long it can be the same story with the same beats, as long as they have a different name, then it's okay.
I do think Jason would have been would have been interesting to see Anakin fall to the dark side and kill Jason. Jason's such, those goddamn Young Jedi Knight books are so good, and they paint him as such a sweet little kid. Fucks me up, man.
Well, there is a bit in the next book where he meets with Wedge, and Wedge is like, aren't you supposed to be like rescuing cubs from a tree or something? And yeah,
I do really like how the Solo parents are just permanently disgusted with him.
Yeah. I know we're not there yet, but I like the way that Alston kind of navigates Jason's fall so much more than Travis and Denning. Like, I think it probably goes, Alston is the best of the three for it. Denning is second best, but only because Travis doesn't give a fuck about Jason. Like, his scenes in Bloodlines... He's not a
Mandalorian?
Yeah, it feels more like, I'm going to finish this so I can get back to... Like, Jason is the least likely to make a Mandalorian reference, so gotta go to someone else.
Yeah.
I have learned so much about economy of Mandalore. I know more about it.
In Fate of the Jedi, I think. Is it Fate of the Jedi where they build their own starfighter, or is that in Legacy of the Force?
I think that's Legacy of the Force.
Yeah.
Because they make the fighters.
Oh, okay.
But Fate of the Jedi is Christy Golden, Aaron Alston. No, Troy Denning, Christy Golden, and Karen Travis? Or is it Aaron Alston and Christy Golden and no Karen Travis?
I thought it was no Karen Travis.
No Karen Travis? Okay.
I don't think there's any Mandalorians in it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Aaron
Alston, Golden, and Denning.
Yeah.
Originally, Karen Travis was set to author 3 of the books, but replaced by Golden because of Travis's busy writing schedule. No, was replaced by Travis, or by Golden, because Travis was too upset about the Clone Wars.
Just read Mandalorian books.
Well, she was upset. She stopped because the Clone Wars retcon stuff related to Mandalorians that she wasn't happy with.
And then they basically retconned everything in Rebels again, right?
Of a lot of the
some things.
Of the stuff that people complain about in the Clone Wars, I think the Mandalorian stuff is like the easiest to get past because it's like, oh, there was a second group of people. Like, it's not like Death Watch was gone or the Mandalorians that liked killing everyone were gone. It's just there were also the civilians and the pacifists that took arguably the right lessons from their history of stupid military fascism, and it never ended well for them. But whatever.
Yeah, and now we're I'd say that like the Mando era Mandalorians are pretty Travis-like.
We do have Jason force choking Aspara. He's really being a slave to his emotions. He's not supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely, force choking a subordinate on the bridge of your Star Destroyer wearing full black might be, a tough look.
Might be an HR issue.
Yeah.
So what I don't get about the whole Hapan plot, though, is we don't know what it means for the Hapans to be independent. Like, what can they not do that they want to do? They're giving some fleets to the Galactic Alliance for defense, but they're not doing anything with them. And they're allowed to have their own fleets. They basically have what Corellia wants.
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
Well, first of all, Corellia never brings it up because they don't know it, apparently.
Very thin.
I guess that's true. Yeah. They don't know their history. Maybe it's the same, like, shitty battle. Maybe it's like the Canadian military where they get the same battle dragons they've had for 40 years, basically.
Yeah, but they've lost so many battle dragons in every book. Like, the Hapans can't show up without their entire fleet getting annihilated.
Just instantly wiped out. Nothing they can do about it. Either by, and it's almost always the Galactic Alliance's fault. This time, not really. I guess still kind of, because the Hapans have done everything for the GA, basically. The GA's done very little. Here, they're sort of helping, but the Hapans are crashing out because they're not, it's a lot to go from independent and not just independent, but isolationist for thousands of years to, we're basically part of an empire now.
Yeah, so maybe the Heritage Council has a point. They've lost like half of their GDP to friendly fire.
they want to make
I never
Hapan
liked
separate.
Hapes in general. Like I feel like Hape, like his whole storyline doesn't make sense.
Well-known misogynist Ilkin comes out against Hapens.
Yes, that's a problem. Not the fact that Isolde first tried to buy Leia and then Jaina. Like it's he might go for the granddaughter next if he doesn't know who the father is.
Well, he already knows who the mother is, which is the important part for his connection to.
Well, I don't think that's a problem.
Well, it
Hapes
would be
definitely
awkward if he tried to like marry Alana off to Ben or Jason.
Oh my.
There's definitely a fanfic out there.
Don't like that.
Is there much in terms of Star Wars fanfiction? I don't think that I have
Yes.
seen in the wild.
Yeah.
Like, what's the most popular?
Supernatural encounters.
Like
Probably
encounter
not,
with
no.
encounter with like supernatural characters.
Yeah, there's a big Star Wars compendium about how Sam and Dean Winchester killed Palpatine.
Well, they stopped him.
I'm
back
not
to
gonna.
Dark
Unless I see it and read it, I will not believe it.
It's
Now
full of Wincest.
Obviously,
It's really.
Why not?
I could see.
Why not?
I could see Han hanging out with Sam and Dean. I think that would work.
You probably like their car.
Yeah.
Although, does it have back seats? I don't know.
Yeah, they have Castiel appear in it all the time. And
Okay, so yeah. Replace Chewbacca however you can, buddy.
there you go. His furry friend's been replaced. All right. Are we where
You said that, and I'm just thinking about all of the Chewbacca replacements who disappear after a scene but never get proper send-offs.
Droma?
Like Droma, we see him for the last time, and we don't. I don't think we realize that. Or who was it in the Swarm War?
Oh, the captain and the Ewok?
Yeah, like they do not get sent off. They disappear at the end of a scene, and we never see them again.
Not even a goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, that's true.
Do the squibs come back?
He's mentioned only. He's mentioned only in his unifying force. That's rough.
What's their fucking name? It is Harfang and other guy. Whatever. June. No, they come back in Legacy of the Force Inferno.
Yeah. Oh, do they? Okay.
So, yeah. And you thought they were gone.
Yeah, okay.
To me, though, like the Aurra Sing feels like, okay, this is going somewhere. She's going to escape or something. Like, no, she just gets arrested and then Jason throws her in the gulag. We never hear about her again. She gets used in a vision in Legacy. But
I knew in my heart when you said they appeared in Legacy of the Force in front. I was like, yeah, that's a Troy Denning book for sure.
Yeah.
He's just got this little cast of misfits that like who likes Tarfang?
Literally no one even in the universe other than maybe Saba.
But what about but Tarfang isn't the squib, he's the Ewok.
Yeah.
But what about the squibs though? They come back. Like I think they're in Fate of the Jedi.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck about the squibs. And they're supposed to be like old by the time of Dark Nest. Like they're at like what, 30? They're ancient.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're rodents, so. Yeah.
But yeah, so we are, unless there's anything you guys want to bring up from the book still, I think we're ranking.
Nope. This is book 3, right?
It's not a long book. Like, I think we covered most of it. Like, we can talk about Hapes until we are, I don't know, old and gray.
Like, we all know what's up with Hapan.
Yeah.
The Hapans.
Yeah, so
this
Ilkin?
For me was my...
Okay, Justin.
sorry.
Justin, you go first.
I would say this is my least favorite of the series, but I think... I don't know if this one's a C. I think this one might just be a low B for me, because I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, okay. I'll put you down for a low B. Ilkin?
Low B.
Tresina Lobi.
I think B is gonna be my mark for most of these books. I think one of them might be A if I think about it, but like most of these books will be B. They're good, they're easy to read, but like not like earth shattering, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm going through and finding myself wanting to just keep going with the next one, which is always a good sign, even though they are fairly long. The next book is shorter, but I don't know. Like I'm trying to look at the last books that I put lower than B, and I do think I probably am going to go B here as well. Like the last for the NJO, you have Edge of Victory Rebirth at C. Justin, we had Agents of Chaos and Dark Tide Ruin at C. But I do think I probably enjoy these more than that. Like I don't know if they're necessarily better, but just in terms of like pulpy Star Wars characters doing pulpy Star Wars stuff. Yeah, it's just like it's weird because like I have so many problems. Like if I put any thought at all into a lot of what's going on, then it's like, what the fuck what is this? But it's still enjoyable to read, so I think I'm landing at B for a lot of them too.
Like, to me, not having the Vong, I don't mind it. Like that's part of it for me.
So you were one of those who wanted the world brain to die, right?
I don't mind the Vong, I don't mind the old tentacles still around. So I don't mind the world brain. I like the world brain. Rest in peace, King.
I think like if the motivations and characters were a bit stronger, this would be an easy A for me, but like it just doesn't get there. Like Jason, Ben, Mara, Luke, they're all like meandering and trying to do something, but it doesn't amount to much. And basically, some of the actions are like Corey says that there's 6 people who can decide what's going on in the book. Yes, but at the same time, like this one is probably a bit like this series is a bit more like event pushed, I guess. Like all characters have to major characters have to react to what's going on around a bit more.
I'm changing mine to a C.
At the same time,
okay.
My point is that I feel like the characters are not so strong. Across the series in general.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that is going to do it for our discussion of Legacy of the Force Tempest. We will be off the Legacy of the Force train for a few weeks. Probably we'll be back with Legacy of the Force on either the 16th or 23rd of July. So depending on how Justin and I want to handle the next couple episodes. Any thoughts?
A week off.
So take a week off next week.
Let's take one week off.
Okay.
And then and then get back to her.
So
something. I don't know what.
Let's assume
or maybe we take the week. Yeah.
Maybe we do what?
Sorry. Nothing. Ignore me.
So assuming we do
we'll take a week off.
Exile on July 16th, we take off next week. There's 1 week between then.
Mm-hmm.
Do we try to do a different short book, or do we? Because Exile is only 300 pages total.
Let's think about it. I don't want to. We got a week to make a decision, basically.
Okay,
so we'll tweet out.
So Justin and I will decide what we're doing on the 9th, late that afternoon, and we'll let everyone know.
It'll be the 12th.
I think Vader would never tolerate what you guys are doing.
Hosting a podcast.
There's one thing he doesn't accept.
See, Justin, you have a nice smile. I love your smile, and you don't look like Jude Law at all. No matter what Corey says. Okay,
I think Wayseeker is pretty long.
Jude Law's a handsome man, so I wouldn't mind that, but it's fine.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. And I'm sorry to anyone who did read
Tempest.
Shakespeare's The Tempest instead of
May the
Wings of
legacy of the
Force.
Force be with you.